Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here. Lucha Underground Season 2, Episode 10. El Jefe is back. So El Jefe is back, and he gets a pretty good response out of the crowd. He says to everyone how good it is to be back, and he starts explaining what he wants to do now that he's back. Now that he's back in his temple, he starts talking about starting next week. They're going to start a new trios tournament. And that's exciting because God knows everyone loves the trios champions, and the fact that they're going to get new competition out of this is pretty exciting. And I talked a little bit about that a week or two ago, as far as what we could see out of that, some new teams. Should be great. And then he starts talking about finding a new number one contender for Matanza. And Pentagon Jr. interrupts him, comes down to the ring, and says that he's the only reason that Matanza is champ is because he wasn't in there. He wasn't in Aztec Warfare. Well, he was, but he wasn't. It wasn't officially. So then he attacks Cueto and almost breaks his arm and makes him give him a championship match. Excuse me. So that's your headliner for this episode is Matanza versus Pentagon Jr. So right off the bat, we have a fighting champ, and that's incredible. He's not a guy that's gonna sit up on a throne week after week, He's already out there kicking ass. The first match, though, we get into is Johnny Mundo and Taya, which is great to see those two together. And so I'm assuming it's going to be like Cage and some other, a woman wrestler, and it's not. It's the Crew, Castro and Cisco, and the Crew actually end up winning this, and they put Taya in their finisher after Cage comes out and distracts them, and Mundo basically is like playing the biggest chicken shit role in here. It's really funny. Still great, though. Great, good stuff. And they pin Taya for the win. Then we get this really creepy Marty the Moth sequence where he's like, looks like he's reading out of a book, but there's nothing on the pages. It's really weird. And he's talking about how the Moth tribe is going to rule again, thanks to Mariposa. And in this segment, as he's talking, there's a part of a scene where Mariposa kicks a bunch of guys' asses, takes out like 4 or 5 like lucha guys in suits. So yeah, she's tough. That is one thing about all the women in this show. They are all badass. It's really something. And then we get Katrina out of nowhere popping up in Cueto's office, which is interesting because Black Lotus is like guarding his office outside, which also shows how badass she is that he trusts her to stand guard out there. But, Katrina just pops in and out of, all over the place. And basically says that death is going to come from Matanza. So yeah, you're going to see a build-up for Mil Muertes going against Matanza. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be nuts. Because so far it looks like nobody can even touch Matanza. Excuse me. Nobody can touch Matanza. And we find out why later. Well, I'll just say it now. Nobody can touch Matanza because he's locked up in a cage in the basement. And he's still wearing those nasty clothes. You'd think, his brother would actually, at least clean his clothes for him. Because that's what, 2, 3, 4-week-old blood on there. It's nasty. Come on, seriously, Dario, take care of your brother. It's like child abuse, only different. I don't know. Then we get a elimination match. This is a fun one for the Trios Championship. The champs, Son of Havoc, Angelico and Ivelisse, defending against the Disciples of Death. So the Disciples of Death actually weren't as destroyed as I think we all thought they were. After Mil Muertes slaughtered them in the locker room, and they fizzled out. And this is it's an elimination match, and Ivelisse got eliminated first, then Tracy, then Angelico, then Barrio Negro, and Havoc ended up getting the win. Ivelisse knocked out Katrina, so we're starting to see some serious friction going on there. Should be cool to see where this goes, but yeah, Katrina's always got to stick her nose in matches. It's crazy, but your Trios champions defended successfully, still champs. Then Rey Mysterio's in Cueto's office, and he accuses Cueto of... he says it's Cueto's brother, Matanza, killed Dragon Azteca, and Cueto's actually telling the truth. He's like, I swear it wasn't him. He knows who it was, but it wasn't Matanza. It was Black Lotus. And he wants Azteca Jr. and Mysterio to perform in the temple. He wants them to stick around just because they didn't win successfully in Aztec Warfare 2. Is he basically said he's the biggest luchador ever? And it's true. So, Cueto ain't stupid. He's a smart businessman. And he wants to leave the past behind. And then they both do a shot together. But Rey Mysterio's got that look on his face like, I don't know, I still don't trust this guy. Of course, Cueto's got the full stocked bar, took down all the goofy candles, had to redecorate, We get Mariposa and Marty the Moth coming out versus Sexy Star, and she's got Willie Mack in there. And this was basically a squash match. Mariposa's finisher is called the Butterfly Effect. Brutal move, holy cow. Finished off Sexy Star in a matter of minutes. And it's more psychological than anything because of everything that she went through when she was being held hostage. if she can get over that, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that Sexy Star is going to be able to beat her. But it's going to be a long time before you see that happen. So this rivalry is it's just getting going. This is going to boil for a while. Then Cueto is downstairs in the basement. Nasty, smelly basement. And he unlocks Matanza from the cage, and he wants him to break Pentagon's back because Pentagon almost broke his arm. So, with those lovely little instructions for him, we go to the main event for the Lucha Underground Championship. And so yeah, we finally get to see Matanza in his first one-on-one match against Pentagon Jr. And man, you thought Mariposa versus Sexy Star was a squash match? Oh my God! For the last, we'll say 50 episodes between last year and this year, we've seen Pentagon Jr. on and off kicking all kinds of ass. Think about what he did to Vampiro in the Ultima Lucha. Holy cow, tore the house down. Pentagon's a hell of a performer. He couldn't get hardly, he did some offense, but it did absolutely nothing to Matanza. He'd kick him and do all sorts of shit. And Matanza just, he even did what's it called, a lung blower? It's like a reverse code breaker, to the back, whatever. Alberto Del Rio does the same move, And Matanza bounced off of him, got right up, turned around, like, what? Unfreaking believable. We have not seen Pentagon Jr. tossed around like a rag doll like this ever. Completely destroyed him. About a 10-minute match. It was a good match. Really got to see what else Matanza could do, even though it was pretty one-sided. Had to put up very little defense. And all over the place, up the stairs, down the stairs, just killed him. And finally got him back in the ring. Took him out with that finisher called Wrath of the Gods. That's that slam where he spins around and, Vampiro went in the ring. He's pretty brave. Went in to check on him. And he's screaming, "Someone get some help." And Matanza's on the other side of the ring, runs, kicks him. Vampiro's out. And then he puts Pentagon Jr. through the announce table. We've seen guys fight around this announce table. This announce table seems like it's more sturdy, like an old desk, It's not like your average table that everyone goes through. He just busted this thing right in half. And then the episode ends. Cueto going up the stairs with Matanza with his championship. And Vampiro's in the back of the ambulance with Pentagon Jr. So, yeah, this is crazy. Crazy to see such a tough guy like Pentagon Jr. He's not the best wrestler on the planet, but he has really proved himself over the last, several episodes to show how tough he is and how good he is. That he really, after he fought Vampiro, it really showed that he deserves to be on top in this company. And now he faces a guy like Matanza, and it was like a guy swatting a fly. It's like just squashed a bug. Crazy. So we're gonna get the start of a new trios tournament for the championship starting next week. Can't wait to see who they put together for that. Yeah, if I had to take a guess, I'm going to say Evans, PJ Black, and Mundo. That's a guess, but that's for one of the teams. I'd like to see that. That'd be a hell of a match. Yeah. The Havoc and Angelico and Ivelisse are certainly going to have their the deck stacked against them. So that's it for this one. Great episode. After seeing last week with as crazy and as intense as that was, you almost had a feeling like, okay, they're going to be a little more relaxed with this one. Oh, the action was just as good in this one, if not better, because you had, 3, 4 matches. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 4 matches. Holy cow. So, yeah, good stuff. So, yeah, can't wait to see what they do next week. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching.